And it's tournament day. I'm here at Torchlight in a place called Burlington, Ontario. It's going to be a little RTT, so 3 games. I'm going to practice for the team tournament coming up next weekend, which is really cool. Got my new version of my list. So enjoy. Let's take a look at the games, how they go, and a little discussion at the end. I hope you enjoy.
The Dark Kid.
And here we go. Let's dive into my 2,000 point Drukhari list that I took to this event. Now this is based on a real space raid detachment. I decided to go for a real space raid detachment instead of the triple patrols, simply to get my Archon to have the raid mastermind special rule, which will allow him to give all core units in my army, that's the Talos, the Kronos, the Hellions, the Rax, even the Witches, reroll ones to hit, which is really cool. So starting with the 3 HQs in this battalion, Archon Skari himself, he has Ancient Evil and a Power Sword. He also has the Animus Vitae as his relic, which is the cool grenade that allows me to increase the power from pain. Then I have a Homunculus, a Master Homunculus, with the Poisoner's Ampule and Master Regenist to help heal the Talos and the Kronos. And a Succubus that is a Master. She is equipped with the Blood Glaive, a Blast Pistol, and has Precision Blows as a Warlord trait because of the Alliance of Agony. Now I am running Cabal of the Black Heart, Artists of the Flesh, which is an all-consuming custom coven, and the Cult of Red Grief for the Witches. Now, of course, you have to have one of each troop choice to be able to run a real space raid. So I do have a single unit of Cabalite Warriors, a unit of Rax, and a unit of Witches with a Blast Pistol. I do roll for their combat drugs. And then for 2 more troops, I decided to take 2 more units of Rax, so 2 units of 5 Rax. I find Artists of the Flesh Rax to be some of the best troops in the game, and I think they are fantastic. Then we'll head on over to the Elite slot, where I am running 2 units of 5 Incubi and 2 units of 5 Mandrakes. They're a great core to do damage, to score points, and essentially put pressure on the board. Now all this unit supported by the dedicated transports, 2 Raiders with no upgrades, just Dark Lances, and 2 Venoms with no upgrades. Now the Venoms are Cult of Red Grief, so they're Witch Venoms. This allows me to use the stratagem from the cult that after they fight, they can spend a command point if they're within 6 inches of the transport to get back into the vehicle, which can keep them alive in a pinch, which is kind of cool. In the fast attack slot, 5 Reaver jet bikes with a sergeant and 2 units of 5 Hellions. I do roll for all of their combat drugs as well. However, if you want, you can choose their drugs instead of picking. And last but not least, in the heavy support slot, 2 units of 2 Talos with Heat Lances, Macro Scalpels, and Ichor Injectors, and a unit of 2 Kronos with a Spirit Probe, and of course the Vortex Guns. Now this was a list that I did before the balance update. However, in the balance update, because Talos went down, Incubi went up, the Homunculus went down, Reaver jet bikes went up a bit. I essentially, they didn't go up at all. I lose, I believe, 1 or 2 jet bikes, and this list is essentially exactly the same after the balance update, which I am really, really happy about. So let me know what you think about the list down below. Let's take a look at how the list did at the tournament, and then afterwards we'll discuss a couple of things that I liked, disliked about the list, challenges that I've been facing with it, and hopefully you can take some notes and stuff. So with that, Archon Skari, Ren's open real space. Let's go on a real space raid. Here we are, round 1. I'm playing against 7 Ultramarine Dreadnoughts, which are Mortifiers. Mortifiers? Well, or is that Relictors?
No, that's Sides of the Emperor.
Ah, Sides of the Emperor. Craziest thing that's happened so far, Bikes did 5 mortal wounds to Tiggy with a flyby thing, which was nuts. Absolutely crazy, not statistical at all. With that, it is priority targets, so we'll be back after the game. And here we have a Ultramarine army with Tigerius, Chaplain on a bike, 7 different dreadnoughts, or 6 dreadnoughts. Volkite Contemptors, Redemptors, a Leviathan. This was not going to be an easy army for me to play. However, the mission really helped in this state, and I was able to essentially plan to hide for most of the game.
Okay, so it's the end of turn 1. I was able to win. It was a 56 to the Dreadnoughts and 97 for me. The terrain, it is player-placed terrain, which does help a lot against that style of army. So I was able to really block off my objectives, and essentially I hid most of my army for most of the game. I just slowly fed. I took Retrieve Octera's data because it's hard for the Dreadnoughts to screen the whole table. I took Heard the Prey, which meant that he had to push into my zone, and if he pushed in too close, my Talos would eat him. So that was a good one. And then I also took Priority Targets, which in this mission is sort of like a no-brainer. Other than that, they've asked us to put our armies out for display, so for paint votes or whatever. Other than that, on to round number 2. Okay, here we are, battle round, no, game 2, playing against Tau. Lots of Farsight stuff. Okay. Player plays terrain, left this, big open space, 3 bundles up. I picked To the Lost, which are the Talos and the Kronos. I picked Banners, because there's 3 objectives nearby. And I picked Heard the Prey as well. So with that, we're going to dive in to the game. Lots and lots of shooting against me hiding the whole game. So it's going to be fun.
If you're going to play Tau, you are going to play Farsight Enclaves, at least right now. So this was as close as you can expect to a very competitive Tau list. Big unit of suits, Riptide with the Relic Ion Cannon, some Remoras for some mortal wound and engagement shenanigans, lots of breachers for objective scoring, and some commanders to support. This list will shoot you to death if you show your face.
Okay, end of battle round, or game 2. I was able to pull out the win. It was 95 to 42. I got all points here for 1 to the Lost. I exposed the unit of Talos at the end of the game, and they just died to a bunch of crisis suits, which I didn't have to do, but,
Where's the fun in that?
That's how that works. I was able to stop the Tau from really scoring primary, and I got all my banners in this mission. And I just, sent stuff to their deaths. So that to stall the Tau, because they had turn 2, but I basically hid behind my buildings, and that was it. Other than that, I had a really good play when some Helions and Incubi just totally went on a flank and went on a tear, and eventually all died. But the Helions went from here, and then all the way over here and put a banner up in the middle objective just for good measure. And then it got pulled down at the end, but still, it was the thought that counts. Okay, on to a game number 3. We're here at round 3 and playing against Hamza and his Void Raven Bombers. Very exciting. Had one Void Raven Bomber kill a Venom and then put some wounds on other stuff. And that's it, but it's double Trueborn, and I ended up going first on battle line 2. So on to the next turn. Let's see what happens. Wish me luck. This is definitely fun for the. He's got me on the amount of models. So we'll see how this goes.
When going into a final game, you always want to sort of really look at player skill, mission. I knew the mission was going to be tough, especially when I rolled the dice and ended up going second, because I knew my opponent was going to be able to get up on the board and do a lot of work. Now, I was able to play to the advantage of knowing the faction better. This meant that I was able to get my target priority on point, force him out of the transports, and then kill the stuff from inside the transports. It was a very tight game until one of my Talos decided to pass almost every save and not die. This changed the game completely and gave me the win. With that, after action report. Hello and welcome back to the studio. That was a fantastically fun event. I ended up taking the top spot, even though I did avoid the Freebooter plane list, which luckily is no longer a thing with the balance update, which is amazing. But what did miss, I was hoping to play against the Orcs. I really wanted to test my mettle against it. I really, really did. The list itself did really well. I love the 2 units of 2 Talos and the 2 Kronos. And Artists of the Flesh continues to impress me about how tough those Talos and Kronos are. This weekend, I ended up going, because I'm filming this a little bit after the RTT, I went to the team tournament, the Beer and Pretzels team tournament in Sudbury. And I feel like I have converted a few people to Artists of the Flesh, including like Brad Chester and stuff, that after playing against it, realize how powerful -1 damage with a 5-up ignore damage roll is. Like, mathematically speaking, they are super, super tough. So, I like the list. The list is very sturdy. I'm currently looking at a few different builds and changes. With the balance update, grotesques especially have become exceptionally tempting to take. And so I'm thinking I might test them out. Now, I hope you enjoyed the little balance, the update. I hope you enjoyed seeing how the army did, all in all, throughout the whole thing. And yeah, let me know with a comment down below if you enjoy these little tournament updates. Cool thing as well is my army won best voted for presentation-wise, which is awesome. That's amazing. Thank you so much for everybody who voted for my army. I've been working a lot on getting the army to a more completed standard. And there's a raider up here, for example, right there, on the shelf. That's my new, like, paint standard, which is what my succubus is, if you go back to the showcase. I've had a lot of fun really improving my painting throughout this, like, lockdown and COVID period. So hopefully I can showcase like how cool the army is going to look once I kind of redo it all, and I'm really excited about it. Other than that, I've also got the Black Templars, which I'll probably pull out at some point. But let me know what you'd like to see. You know, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, I'll continue to go to events and whatnot. A huge shout out to all the channel Patreons. Most of my content is completely free for everyone to watch. So if you enjoy the content, you can consider supporting me on Patreon. Become a denizen, get access to the Discord, some cool community members that are really positive and amazing people. And the links, of course, are in the description down below. If that's not your thing, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Other than that, I've been Skari, your grateful host, signing off until next time. Skari out. The Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.